Live from New York City, we got game number 3 here with RuineD. This time it's going up against TtPiG, an Australian player, just won the WCS Australia before losing in Oceania. He is playing Zerg here in the top right hand corner as the red player. And RuineD is the guy we've been following for a couple games now. He's the Terran, the blue Terran of course, here in the bottom left. Likes to play mech. This will be the third game we've seen with him. He is going, of course, Zerg in all games, and going against Zerg in all games. We haven't yet tried out his mech in against TvP or TvT, and so we'll see what he's up for doing here in game number 3. Of course, in game number 1, we did see him go, CC for both games 1 and 2. He went CC first. The first game, the Zerg reacted by going for a quick third. And in game number 2, the Zerg responded instead with a bust, a 2-base Baneling bust. So we've seen, RuineD go the same exact build in both games, going CC first into a reacted Hellion opening where he gets the barracks and the refinery about the same time. Barracks just a little bit faster, possibly. And then, of course, 2 Marines come out, then a factory, a reactor on the barracks. You get the reacted Hellions. A second refinery goes down after the factory, and then you get your starport as soon as the factory's done, a tech lab on the barracks. Swap that and you get Cloaked Banshees coming out, a third CC shortly thereafter, as soon as you have the 400 minerals. Of course, pumping SCVs and Hellions the whole time. You just have those 2 initial Marines early on to hold off early pressure, but then you get the reacted Hellions for applying pressure, gaining map control, and then of course the Cloaked Banshees, which can do a lot of damage. We saw that in game 2 against the Baneling bust. There was no detection at all for the Zerg player. Tickle Me, his name was, yes. Tickle Me, Elmo, died a fiery death. Actually, it was not fiery because it was not Hellions. It was just a very, what's the word, comforting death watching Tickle Me die. I remember the Tickle Me Elmo ads. Oh boy, that was quite a lot of fun to watch. But it looks like in game 3 here we're going to have similar style as well. CC first from RuineD. Here comes the Rax, this time on the low ground. Interesting enough. In the past, we've seen him use that here on the high ground to wall off, so a little bit of a variation here. And oh, this drone, that could get an SCV kill. Actually, it does, but the SCV gets his revenge here, taking out that drone. Meanwhile, the Zerg TtPiG here, he did go hatch first. And look at this, a quick third coming up, a very super fast third at 340. And this is even faster than the quick third in game number 1. Pigeon Man's up throwing down his hatchery around 520. And so we'll have to see what the response is here. We do have double refinery this time from RuineD. He of course has not scouted that third. Has only scouted the main and the natural. Of course, saw no gas here in the main, so maybe he's thinking he can get away with some quick tech, just because his opponent will not be going for any tech of his own and possibly a Baneling bust as well. So maybe it's an indirect scout, you could say, of the third base, but it does look like, where is this SCV going? He's going back in to scout the natural again, it looks like, for the gas possibly. Meanwhile, here comes the first Marine to bunker out. No factory yet. There's plenty of gas here for it, but we do not see it yet. SCV actually getting all the way in. No Zerglings out on the map. Two Queens in production. And that SCV is going to get all the way in. Drone's trying to get him, but unable to. Now the SCV is actually going to fall here to the Queen. So he sees no gas at either place, and that has to show you that there's going to be a third somewhere. No Lings. 2 Queens just popping out when you get there. A lot of drones, no gas. I mean, either he's... well, I don't know what he's doing. He's got to have a third somewhere, put it that way, when you scout that. And of course, a double factory now from RuineD. And so this is a bit of a variation. Not going for the reacted Hellion, not going for the Banshees. He has, of course, played... It looked like from the chat earlier on he had played TtPiG before. So they are familiar with each island. Quite possibly it could just be that RuineD knows the style of Pig in this game. And so that could just refute any of my analysis so far. But he has seen there's no gas, so, RuineD probably guessing there's a third. Instead goes for a 2 factory with a tech lab here, and now the starport comes out. Overlord coming into the main, then 1 Marine's going to come back here to deal with it, but he's going to get a full scout. 1 Marine is not doing that much DPS. to an Overlord, and so you can see he gets in here and scouts both factories. Will he get the starport, though, is another question. It's going to be close. Actually, I think he will. Scout the starport. Here comes siege mode and a siege tank. Looks like a roach play from Pig. So maybe Ruin's just familiar with the roach play, and that's why he's going for siege mode. This is definitely a mix, a very a bit of a change up here from Ruined. He's now actually going for the tech lab. Started to get a medevac, possibly just to throw Pig off, but it looks like he's going to go into Cloaked Banshee after all, getting that tech lab. He's got a lot of gas saved up. Siege mode on the way, though, and a second siege tank. And that factory right now is sitting idle. Map control is completely in Pig's favor. He's droning up the third. He's got double gas here in the main. The Roach 1 actually goes to the scan. Ruin can see that. Now 2 gases at the natural. So looks like we might see some quick upgrades here from Pig. See if he'll stay on Roach, or if he's going to want to transition into Infestors. He'll need something to deal with that mech to help him get to his late game. And we do have that Banshee coming out with Cloak, so a good wall off here. Siege tanks on the high ground, really going to shut down any aggression. The problem being, though, if you get an Overlord in here and the Roaches are down here, they could certainly pick these tanks off quite easily, as they are in range of the Roaches. And that's the one problem with putting them there on the high ground. But, of course, you do need vision. Meanwhile, sitting on 3 gas here with 2 factories, it looks like, yeah, it's going to be 1 reactor, 1 tech lab. And here comes that third CC. So Ruined, yes, definitely staying true to his macro style here. CC first, quick thirds. Going ahead and grabbing that third now around 9 minutes. A third tank here on the high ground. Definitely going to shut down any kind of Roach aggression we might see, as we do have the Lair on the way, possibly for Roach speed. +1 Carapace coming out. And Hellion trying to scout, but it's going to be denied here. Actually, I'm going to run right into these Roaches and fall completely. And where's that Banshee? That Banshee's going to work here on this Queen, revealing that it has Cloak, and now the Roach is actually falling back, interesting enough. They're going to have to go all the way home, though, because they cannot shoot up. And do we have any detection of Spore Crawler going down here? Looks like 5 in total, probably a couple in the main and some in the natural. And that Queen is actually going to go down to the Banshee here. Ruin microing it well, going for double armory as well. He got his fast upgrades. Not as, I don't believe it's as fast as in game 1. I think he has his armories just a little bit faster, though he does throw them down after the third CC has started. And now we do see Blue Flame, so definitely going to be mech this game from Ruined, and using this Banshee to really gain the map control he needs, the time he needs, to buy him the time he needs to macro up. Go on to 3 bases, and then, of course, you know, once he gets that going, get 5 factories up and running, and then build his army up to 200 before he pushes out. Second Banshee has joined the fray here, doing a little bit of damage. See out on the map, possibly getting a Queen or 2. And we do see Ruin's able to do quite a bit of damage with these Banshees. He does have to fall back now. That Spore Crawler's down for detection, but he's going to be able to get into the main now. And, oh, the Overseers actually are here. They're going to chase the Banshees away for good for now. One might actually go down. Oh, Ruined has to be careful. I think he's going to lose one here. The Queen is, oh, she's got to be in range. Yeah, she's in range, but she must be on the move command now. Actually, oh no, what am I saying? She can't see it with detection. But they have to be careful. The Banshees actually could both fall to this Queen, and they do. Oh, the Queen, look at that, getting both Banshees and just 2 hit points left there. Oh, such a sneaky play from Pig. Able to get away there and get those 2 Banshees for free. Well, not for free, but without losing that last Queen. Now we look at this, we do have 5 factories up at home. So Ruined has transitioned, he's added on, he's got the double upgrades going. Engineering bay in here as well in case he needs any turrets for mutas, of course. And now he's going to establish his third around 12:30, cleaning out that little Zergling, transferring the SCVs, and notably Ruined here. He always uses an orbital here, it seems, for his third, not getting a planetary, as a lot of players will do at their third when they use mech. As it's slower, they do like that planetary, but Ruined has shown he likes orbitals, and now actually getting a 4th CC as well. Even before, well before the 13-minute mark. Let's see what he's going to do with these 5 factories. 2 tech labs so far. Will he go for 4, or is he going to go for 3? Looks like, yeah, 3 tech labs, 2 reactors. And these Hellions now pushing out, taking a little bit of map control back. And, of course, no Banshees on the field. There is a Raven. I think that is at home with the main army. And this Overlord is actually still alive here. Able to stay alive the whole game. And, oh, what do we have? We have Mass Roach. Oh, that Marine. Poor sucker. What was he doing out there? He should have been back home. You know. Oh. Now the Hellions Another one going to go down here too, this Roach play. But it looks like Ruin's got a good wall here with a couple tanks behind it. Overlord being chased away and actually falling to that Viking in the missile turret. And let's see, the third is pretty well defended with 4 tanks. There's a little bit of a gap here on the back side to poke in and get the refinery and the turret. But Ruin's in pretty good shape here. It looks like the Roach is actually just content at this point to pick off the rocks. Pathogen glands almost finished. Level 2 upgrades coming out. Hive Tech as well and Aspire. So as the 4th base is up now for Pig, he's going to have a 5th base going up as well over here on the left side. And Hellions actually getting in here, seeing the 4th base, going to try and roast some drones. They do burrow, and the Roaches are here to chase the Hellions away. Instead, the Hellions actually going to suicide themselves and try and get a couple more kills. Checking out that units killed tab, 18 workers killed so far for Ruin. So quite a few, and he actually setting up his 4th base in the bottom right corner. Sneaking it down there, actually. You'll see a lot of players take this as their 4th. Just, you know, as the Zerg took it for his 5th, but it can be very hard to hold. You have high ground behind it, and it's also, you know, closer to your opponent than you'd like. So Ruined in this game, going to sneak a planetary fortress down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Get his 4th up and running. He's got level 2 upgrades on the way. So his plus 2 upgrades are actually almost even. Yeah, they're just about even with the Zergs. Usually when you go mech, your upgrades are a little bit behind, but in this case, Ruin's been able to stay even. It looks like Pig might have scouted this expansion. I'm not sure. Maybe he's just, he's got some intuition going on, or he sees the SCVs going back and forth. That could be it. Those SCVs is certainly a big indication. But now actually Ruin's going to lift off and float back. Perhaps he knows that he's been scouted because of this creep here, with his SCVs running in the vision range of that tumor. So he's definitely pulled the base back, and that actually was a good decision. Pig about to pounce on it. Instead, he's got his tanks here, able to protect both the 3rd and his 4th. And he's in a pretty good situation here, as the Hellions are making sure there's no base in the top left-hand corner, and actually going to try and poke into the 5th here. But nice fungal going down from the Infestor, traps a lot of those Hellions, and now the Zergling is going to run in and pick off the remaining few. They do fall, and now that Overlord does scout the base. Sees there's no CC there, just a couple turrets. Actually now an Overseer scout coming in. Both players getting close to maxing out. A 5th CC on the way for Ruined. He's also, of course, banking up quite a few minerals. He's got his Vikings in production. His 2nd Spire, I believe. I think it's the 2nd. Yeah, here's the Greater Spire. 2nd Spire on the way. Hydralisk down as well as out. 5 Corruptors on the way. So we're going to see that Hive Tech switch now. Looks like a lot of units streaming to the bottom right. Going to pick off these structures. And Ruin's content to let this happen. Doesn't look like he's going to push out at all. Just keeping his units here at the 5th. Getting ready for a possible run-by into his 3rd. He's going to wall off here with CCs, it looks like, and use these probably for orbitals. You know, the typical late game from Terran, get the orbitals up, sacrifice your SCVs, and use mules. But now this high ground comes into play. And these Infestors just able to, you know, if a siege tank was possibly here, it'd be in range, but look at this range. It's just short of these Infestors. And that makes all the difference right now. Actually, trying to move a couple back in here, but oh, these tanks are taking so much damage. The friendly fire for a second there. But now it looks like they'll be able to clean up the infested Terrans. No, what was that? About 3 tanks falling to the infested Terrans. Nice play from Pig. Thinning out the tank count just a little bit, and now this one tank has parked himself in the mineral line. With the Viking spot the high ground, is going to deny any kind of similar attacks in the future. But let's see what's happening. Checking the income tab. Do have about a 10 harvester lead for the Zerg player Pig. He's going for these rocks here. Chased away by a couple tanks. And, well, let's see. Ruin's pulling back behind the lines here. As we have changelings coming into the right side of the map. Let's see, they do. The changelings do actually all die, it looks like. Nope, a couple still surviving. The rocks fall. A couple Thors here to chase away the Overseers. And now the Zerg army is going to try and fall back, but they're going to run right through this siege tank fire, actually taking a lot of damage here unnecessarily. A poor move command from Pig brought his army right into the range of those tanks. Rather than falling back this way, he brought them down through this area, right into the siege tanks. And here we go. Traditional style from Ruin to get those Ravens up. Does not have Hunter Seeker Missile yet, though. And he definitely saw him use that to great effect in the game against Pigeon Manza. This time he's facing Broodlords, though, instead of Ultralisks. 11 Broodlords up. 6 Corruptors, 4 Hydralisks on the way, surprisingly enough. Hydra, not a unit you see very much of. Ultralisk Den or Cavern is out as well. And those level 3 upgrades are finishing. We do not have... Do we have chitinous plating? Is it already finished? Just might be. And looks like Ruin now is going to push out. He's maxed out. Here he goes into the middle of the map. Right into the Broodlords here. Let's see what the Fungals go down on the Terran army. A couple Fungals up on the Thors and Vikings. Now the PDDs coming in to stop the Corruptor shots. And yeah, Ruin saying he forgot Hunter Seeker Missile, and that is going to possibly cost him this engagement. What the difference it would have made, as we saw in Game 1 against the Ultralisks and Banelings. And still, though, these Thors are doing a ton of damage to the Broodlords. The PDDs helping out quite a bit, keeping these Vikings alive, as the Corruptors have all fallen. And now it's down to just Broodlords against Thors and Vikings. Tanks helping, picking off the Broodlings. The Ravens out here still alive. Look at how many PDDs they threw down, too. 8 PDDs. And that just shuts down the Corruptors completely. Ravens are taking barely any damage. Only 2 in the yellow at this point. And RuineD able to break through. But we do have 20 Roaches in production, 4 more Corruptors, level 2 flyer upgrades. So TtPiG is not out of this yet. Looks like he might be in danger of losing this base. The crawler wall being attacked from the flank. And a new... Oh, look at this. A hatchery has gone up in the bottom right-hand corner, actually being attacked by Hellions right now, as RuineD tries to set up a 5th base. Here comes the army again. Infestors in from the flank with the Roaches and the Corruptors coming in now. Is there enough energy left on these Ravens for a PDD? A turret going down. Looks like there is not enough for a PDD, and all of these Ravens could fall to the Corruptors. Siege tanks and Thor is able to take out the Roaches and Infestors, and now the Corruptors have to fall back. And 40 things in production. I don't think TtPiG has enough. He's still got quite a few resources left, but Larva 24. Interesting to see what he chooses to produce. He's sitting on quite a bank here. He did produce a lot of Zerglings, actually rallying to this macro hatchery here in between his 2nd and 3rd. As the Terran army pushes up to the side, could they possibly go for this top left-hand corner? Does look like they're going to do that, shut down that base. They have shut down the 5th. 4th, meanwhile, is still going pretty well here. But look at these PDDs out here. Corruptors trying to take them out. Interesting. They, wow, display of energy here. These guys are going to be going at it for quite a while. Oh, man, there we go. Finally, the Corruptor's able to break through. Going to take the last of the PDDs down, and there we go. 8 Corruptors sitting out here. 4 Ultralisks in production. So TtPiG has his shot here. He did throw Lings into the bottom right-hand corner to take out the Hellions, but the CC, of course, is in the air, and Lings cannot attack air units. Not yet. Maybe in Heart of the Swarm. You know, they can morph wings and then fly, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe in a single player. Here we go. Corruptors onto the Vikings. Actually going to be able to take out all those Vikings. They have to be careful, though. They're clumping up over the Thors. Oh, no. Now the Thors actually are going to go against the ground units here. Forgetting about the Corruptors for a second. Ultralisks into the fray. Siege tanks have all gone down. And these Thors are going to go down as well. So TtPiG has come back just a little bit, taking the Terran army out. Yeah, just have to be careful. There's another army down here with 7 Thors and a few Vikings. Now TtPiG is walking right past it again, like it did earlier on with the Roaches. Has to be careful. Moving into a big ball of Hellions and Thors. Probably not the best engagement for a Pig, but he is going to get some Thors here. Able to get, yeah, 3 Thors for about 3 Ultralisks. And re-establishing his 5th and 6th bases. What a game from these guys. At the 26-minute mark, we do have Banshees in production again. So we possibly could see them, RuineD use those for great map control in his first game against Pigeon Manza. Really able to shut down these bases like here in the top left-hand corner, and maybe even this base, just because if there's no detection there or there's nothing to shoot, and no anti-air, the Zerg is usually distracted by your army, right? So he can't just run everything over to that base to shoot down one Banshee. And it can get very frustrating. It's kind of almost like dealing with a drop, but instead of dropping, it stays in the air. And you can't use Lings to defend it, so you have to use either Infestors or Queens or Corruptors. Pigeon Manza, of course, did not have any Corruptors, so it was very hard for him to deal with it. And now the Terran, is he going to push on the 4th base here? Actually, this could be good. It is a little bit low, a little bit over half, maybe around halfway mined out right now. Looks like he's going to pick off some creep tumors, get a free Infestor. We do see the Naturals mined out. The 3rd is almost mined out as well for our Zerg player. Meanwhile, the 3rd is getting similarly low for RuineD. His Natural, of course, is low on minerals as well, but he's got a 4th And a 5th base is finally getting up now. As a run-by comes in, oh no, the Lings are in. There's no solid wall here. They're able to surround this orbital. Actually going to pick it off. It looks like only 2 Hellions stand between them and the main. Well, the depot wall, there is no wall here to be closed. But now the Hellions coming in. Going to be able to pick off the last of these Lings. And so the run-by, they did get an orbital. But at this point in the game, there's so many orbitals. I mean, if we check the tab here for RuineD, he's sitting on 7 orbitals and a planetary. And that's just so many mules that, you know, really, that loss of the orbital probably doesn't hurt as much as, you know, it could have. Or as much as those Lings might have hurt for Pig. He's low. He's got, what, 17 larvae in the bank right now. Morphing 8 Broodlords. Still going for some Hydras here, interestingly enough. And these Infestors are on the march. He's got to be careful here. Doesn't want to lose them. Here comes the army. There are a few Banshees mixed in. A couple Hellions in the front running in skirmishing mode here. And what do we have? Nope. No engagement yet. Looks like RuineD actually falling back. Going to push up the middle, though, instead. Getting some free hits off on those Ultralisks. Now the Banshees go into cloak mode. And could they get some free Ultralisks? Oh, RuineD pulling back at the last minute. Waiting for the rest of the army. And there comes the fungal on the Banshees. Infested Terrans going down, but the rest of this army is here. And Pig's going to have a tough time dealing with this. He only has a, what, 3 Ultras. Actually has to run away from this engagement. And is going to lose this base again. Those drones are in trouble as well. Burrowing here in the back. Will we get a scan from RuineD to take them out? He doesn't need a scan. He has a Raven. And that just hurts 23 Banelings in production. But this just is not going to be enough for Pig. He's got, with that, he'll have 23 Banelings, 3 Ultralisk, 8 Broodlords, and 6 Infestors. So he's got a bit of an army, but I don't know that he can answer the army of RuineD here, which is going to take out his 3rd hatchery. Denying this important, well, the gas is almost mined out, so denying that last little bit from being mined. And at this point in the game, oh, we do have the Broodlords here at the 4th. They have come down. I was wondering where they were, but they are here attacking this planetary. Actually going to be able to take it out. As I say that, there are no Corruptors here, and unfortunately these 2 Vikings can be able to take out every single Broodlord if Pig does not fall back. He's bringing in the Infestors, and that is certainly going to help, but he did lose 1 Broodlord. And at this point in the game, everyone counts. Able to take out both of these bases, though, with those Broodlords. Actually missed the bottom right-hand falling. And so both players kind of resetting here. They're very low. We check the income tab, even the rate tab here, showing the rate at which they're being mined. It's pretty low for this point in the game. Both players on about, 1 base each. And here comes the engagement. Oh, Bane's going down. Fungals, but they're just not enough damage. Still too many Vikings left over. And the army of Pig falls. Look at all these Thors left. There's just not enough damage. A couple PDDs going down as well. And now this base is in trouble. RuineD's going to be able to come in and shut it down. Still had about a 1/3 of its minerals left. And these spine crawlers putting up noble defense, but there's just not going to be enough of them to save the day. Pig has to pull the drones. He does have 1 more base left in the top left. A Viking trying to do some harassment here. Actually, he's going to get some kills. He already has 2. But I just don't think there's enough right now. And there we go. The GG from Pig. He has nothing left to respond to this mech army. So an interesting style from RuineD here in game number 3. Going a little bit different. 2 factories early on instead of reacted Hellion. And going with early siege tanks, possibly just to defend against Roaches. I'm guessing he was expecting those from Pig, being familiar with the playstyle of Pig. And so, yeah, he switched it up a little bit for the 2 factories. But then eventually, yeah, still went into Cloaked Banshees and a quick 3rd CC. So that's game 3. Maybe get a couple more. See if we can look for some variations in the playstyle of RuineD here as he plays mech in every matchup. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. CaptainAmerica signing off, and keep crafting.